Hey, hey. All right. Good evening. My name's Andrew Proctor. I'm the Executive Director of Literary Arts. Welcome to the 7th Annual Verselandia. Yeah. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Literary Arts, we're a nonprofit literary center based right here in Portland. Our mission is to engage readers, support writers, and inspire the next generation with great literature. Our programs include Portland Arts and Lectures, which brings the world's greatest writers to this stage all year round. Many of you have been there through Students of the Schnitz. We had about 1,500 PPS students join us just this year alone. It also has a companion radio show on OPB called The Archive Project that's also on iTunes. We run the Oregon Book Awards and Fellowships program. That program is designed to support and celebrate our great Oregonian writers and publishers. I fully expect some of the poets that we will hear tonight will one day be winning Oregon Book Awards sometime soon, for sure. Yeah. Many of you were also at our book festival last fall. It's coming up again this fall, Saturday, November 10th. Everybody 17 and under goes free, and everybody with a high school ID goes free. It's a full day of author readings, workshops. There's youth poetry workshops as well. 1,500 of y'all came last year. I hope double that comes next year. You're all welcome to join us, and I think you'd have a great time. And finally, we run a suite of youth programs that serve 4,000 students each and every year, including in-school residency programs. There's 11 of those, and they reach 851 students in Portland, Parkrose, and in Gresham. There are dozens and dozens of student readings in your community. As part of those residencies, we also run the College Essay Project, where we assemble an army of volunteers to help you with your college entrance essay. And of course, we run Verselandia. So get involved with Literary Arts. There are dozens of free events, some ticketed events too, throughout the year. I hope you will join us at one of them, or many of them. I want to say that Verselandia is a collaboration between Literary Arts and public high school librarians, as well as many teachers and parent volunteers. And we are here tonight. Yeah. And we are here tonight because of them. Many of them organized school slams throughout the city, and there's a list actually of all those people in your program, and for every one of those people in that program, there's like 3 more people that help them. So there's a small army of people who want to make sure you guys are doing great work, and we want to give them a huge round of applause. I want to thank Rami Zakoya and Mel Wells and Hunt Holman, all part of the youth program staff, who spent the whole year working with students, and we're delighted that you are all here tonight, and they are very excited, and they've worked very, very hard so that you could be here. So huge thanks to that staff, please. I want to welcome a few special guests. Susan Stone, the PPS District Librarian, is here. And we have a very special guest, Guadalupe Guerrero, the PPS Superintendent of Schools, is here tonight. And also thank you to Amy Carlson Constam, who's a PPS board member and also a Literary Arts board member. So she's doing double duty tonight. We're delighted to welcome such august guests here to this evening. There are also students here who are not competing, and there are in fact schools here who are not competing this year because they were so excited to come here and support our young poets. So I just want to give a shout out and welcome to Reynolds High School's here somewhere. There they are. Woodburn High School's here. Beaverton's here. Over there. Unbelievably, Astoria's here. That has to be the distance record for Verselandia, I think, of all time. Centennial High School's here. Cool. And the Arts and Technology High School from Wilsonville's here. They're over there. Awesome. Cool. I also want to welcome community members from SEI who are here. Awesome. Youth Progress is here somewhere. There they are. And Step Up from Franklin High School is also joining us. It is easiest to go last. in that lineup because you have the most warning. I just want to say, but awesome. That was incredibly loud. Also thanks to our judges and the other volunteers. I'm going to let Anise introduce them and thank them and welcome them. But I do want to thank our sponsors who made sure that we could have this beautiful concert hall and you could be here. So a huge thanks to White & Kennedy. They've been a Verselandia sponsor since 2013. Thanks to Mary Norman and Gina Childs. And a huge thanks to Dan Wyden and Priscilla Bernard Wyden, who are actually here this evening to join us. It's awesome. Also thanks to Stoll Reeves, Stoll Reeves, a law firm here in town who have sponsored us for a long, long time, more than a decade, have helped us bring countless amazing speakers of global stature here. They're also here to support you. They support many fine cultural organizations. I want to thank Tom Wood and the whole group at Stoll Reeves for supporting youth programs like this. Please give them a round of applause. Also thanks to OPB and the Oregonian, and also AHA, our creative communications agency partner. Special thanks to Literary Arts Board member Betsy Henning, who has been wonderfully supportive of our youth programs. And finally, I want to thank Portland 5, and you may or may not know what that is. Portland 5 is the organization that runs all these concert halls, and they also have allowed us to use this space and have been very generous. They also fed all our poets before the show tonight. So a huge round of applause for Portland 5. And thank you to all the adults who are here. You showing up tonight have said yes, that our students matter, that they deserve your attention, and what they have to say is important. So thank you for being here and for supporting these fine poets. For all of you here too, another way to support these poets is by making a gift to Literary Arts and to our youth programs. We fundraise for most of all of the cost of this program with community members like you. A gift helps provide literary experiences like Verselandia to more than 4,000 students every year. Tonight alone, because of our generous sponsors and our donors, we gave away 600 free tickets to our community. So there's a donation envelope in your program. Please consider making a gift. Thank you. All right, so on to Verselandia. Literally scores of students all across the city have been participating and competing throughout the spring. And only a few are here. There are 21 students from 12 high schools who will now compete for the title of Verselandia Champ. Our prizes tonight for 4th and 5th place are $250 gift cards to Powell's Books. 2nd and 3rd place are brand new iPads. And for 1st place, an iPad Pro with a keyboard. So those are the prizes for this evening. It is now a huge honor to introduce our host and our MC. Anise Majgani was born in New Orleans, but we are very honored and flattered that he calls Portland his home. Majgani is the author of 5 poetry collections, including Songs from Under the River, The Feather Room, Over the Anvil We Stretch, the Pocket Knife Bible, and his most recent book is In the Pockets of Small Gods. He is currently on tour, and his book is for sale in the lobby. His work has appeared on HBO, on NPR, and in the pages of many, many journals. He has taught all over the country, including our own Writers in the Schools program, and he also, I'm proud to say, sits on the Literary Arts Board. He travels globally, performing at numerous universities, festivals, TEDx talks, and has performed for audiences varied as the House of Blues to the United Nations. Please join me in welcoming the 2-time National Poetry Slam champ and winner of the International World Cup Poetry Slam, Anise Majgani.
Hello! Humans of varying shapes, sizes, colors, genders, and hearts, welcome to the 7th Verselandia! Portland, it is very nice. I've been on the road off and on for the last, 6 weeks, basically. And I flew into town today, and it is so great that the first day back, I get to come to this beautiful space to sit in it with you beautiful folks, who I cannot see, and get to hear these wonderful poems from these fantastic human beings down front. A warm round of applause for every person that's competing tonight that's going to grace this stage, as well as for every young poet inside of the house, whether or not they step onto this stage or not. Yeah. So, quick question. Who in here has been to a poetry slam before? Who in here has never been to a poetry slam before? All right, all right. Who in here has never been to Verselandia? Who in here has been to a Verselandia? All right. So for the folks that are new to how this all works, I'm going to do a quick breakdown as to how this is going to happen over the course of this evening. So the Poetry Slam, really quickly, is a competition where each person coming up will have up to 3 minutes to share something that they wrote out of the depths of their soul and heart and mind. And then we have these 5 wonderful humans over here who are going to be giving a numeric score to that work of art that they just heard. And that's basically it. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. So we're going to hear 21 poets in the first round. We're going to take a quick little 15-minute break for y'all to stretch your legs, come back and hear the last 10 finalists in the second round. And then out of those 10, we're going to have the top 5 walk home with those gifts that Andrew mentioned earlier. Any questions? That's what I thought. All right, so before we start this off, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you guys these 5 wonderful judges right here. A round of applause. So starting from the far side, we have Taya Johnson, a college freshman, writer, actress, singer, and dancer, and she also took first place in Verselandia 2016. Give it up. Seated next to Taya is Jonathan Hill, a cartoonist. He teaches comics in the BFA illustration program at the Pacific Northwest College of Art. And as I found out earlier, we both graduated from the same college many, many moons ago. Jonathan Hill. Next to Jonathan, we have Cindy Williams Gutierrez, an award-winning poet and playwright who has taught poetry to every grade from K through 12th. A round of applause for Cindy. Next to Cindy, we have Rukiah Adams. They are the Chief Investment Officer at Meyer Memorial Trust and serves on the Board of Directors at OPB. A round of applause, please. And last but certainly not least, seated next to Rukiah, we have Daniel Shaniak. He is the Global Communications Planning Director on Nike at Wyden Kennedy here in Portland. A round of applause for Danny and all 5 of our wonderful judges. So as I said, how it's going to work, I'm going to call up a name, and that poet's going to come up, do their poem, and then I'm going to quickly ask our 5 judges to give a score. They're going to hold up 5 scores. We're going to drop the high, we're going to drop the low, we're going to take those 3, and our math experts are going to sandwich those together. Which leads me to introducing our math experts. I don't know if y'all can see them in the dark, but if y'all want to wave your hand. We have Mona Schreier, who teaches at Grant High School. She won the 2015 Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics Teaching. Mona is assisted by Mary Rodeback, who also teaches at Grant High School, teaching English. Next to Mary, we have our timekeeper, Ramon Pagan, board member of Literary Arts and a circuit court judge in Washington County. Ramon is going to be keeping track of those 3 minutes to let these young poets know where they stand on that linear time frame. So before we get started, there's 2 things I want to do. I want to loosen us up, make sure that we're like good and ready. So we're gonna do a little maybe call and response interactive exercise. Y'all ready for this? All right. So when I ask y'all who is in the house, I want y'all to yell out, "I am in the house." All right? And when I say, ask whose house is this, I want you to yell out, "This house is ours." Who is in the house? Whose house is this? All right. Now I want you to repeat after me, because these are strange times that we are in right now. And I feel that the only way we get through them is by recognizing that we move as one through all this, all right? So repeat after me. What there is to give, may we give it. What there is to share, may we share it. I am welcomed here. All are welcomed here. Whose house is this? Y'all did splendid. So, who's ready for this poetry slam to start up? All right, that was like 85% of y'all participating. I need 100% of y'all participating. Who's ready for this poetry slam to start? Yes, yes. Except we're not quite yet there. We got one more piece of business before we can get this ball going. So, this first poet that I'm going to bring up to the stage is what's known as a sacrificial or calibration poet. And their job is to sacrifice themselves before the poetry gods and goddesses. This young poet is going to share their poem to the audience. This audience is going to give so much love to this young poet, and then these judges are going to score that poem just as if it was in the competition. And what this allows us as an audience is to learn how we are going to engage with this poetry tonight, and it also allows the judges to have something to compare the rest of the night's poems against. Are y'all ready to do this? Are y'all ready to do this? All right. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage the first poet of the night, Allison Riddle.
Hello, I'm Allison Riddle, and this is my poem entitled Mother Earth, and it's told from that same point of view. They're killing me. Some of them know this, yet they stick to their ways. I tried warning them. 3 major hurricanes in a month should have done it. The pen is mightier than the sword. Dear humans, I am done with you. I am sick and tired of your abuse. You may claim to be environmentally friendly, but this is what you really do. You kill off my creatures with reckless abandon. You build cities making concrete jungles that are nothing like the real thing, filled with the squawks of your naked offspring, creating nothing but more ways to kill me and you. You spit in my tears so that they burn when they hit my cheek. Burn like the fire inside me that could erupt at any moment. Burn like my forests, my ever-shrinking forests. You poison the very air in my lungs. You give me a fever so potent that I drown in my own sweat every day, the putrid water creeping closer to my chin as I fight to draw another poisonous breath, gasping like a fish out of water or a pen out of ink.
Thank you, Allison. All right, judges. This will probably be the most time that I give you for the night. Let's not show them just yet. On the count of 3, hold your scores high, above. 1, 2, 3. Judges, your scores, we have from low to high, a 6.8. Feel free to let those judges know what you feel about those scores. A 6.8, a 7.5, an 8.0, an 8.1, and an 8.2 for the poem. Applaud the poet. All right. Now, to start off Verselandia, please welcome to the stage the first poet in the first round, Zoe D.
Response to the State of the Union. They say you can always trust the hand that feeds you, but what of the hand that births you, nurtures you, holds you when the men with stakes come for you? What of that hand? They handed us books and pencils and endless pages of paper, but our stories are never read. Hair beads boiled, then braided and decorated on threads, melanin scrubbed to the last inch of every strand on our heads. They say you can't always trust the hand that feeds you. But we already knew that. What they didn't tell us is that the food is spoiled. Our water spiked with false hope and heavy liquor. Men caged as animals, women silenced before we can attempt to differ. It's hard to love again when your heart's been tampered. But I refuse to let Band-Aids pass as stitches, parents forced to fight for children's wishes. It ends now. And they say you can always trust the hand that feeds you. But we will no longer let 100 bodies fall with every solemn promise and thought you speak. You say freedom stands tall. I say too tall to fucking reach. It's time for you to step up or stand down. And it ends now. They say you can always trust the hand that feeds you, but what of the hand that births you, nurtures you, holds you when the men with stakes come for you? What of that hand? Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe. Judges. Let's see those scores. Hold them high in 3, 2, 1. Scores. We have from low to high an 8.6, an 8.7, an 8.9, a 9.1, and a 9.5. Applaud the poet. And please keep that applause going. Welcome all the way up to the microphone, Hadea.
Officer, I am just going to reach into my pocket for my ID. Were those the last words that he spoke? Or did he cry out for help, call for his mama, whisper his daughter's name because tomorrow is her birthday and he was rushing to get her a gift? He was almost there until... Officer, I'm just going to reach into the glove box for my registration. There is no need to have out your gun. Did he stare up into the sky, eyes wide, ask God to forgive any sin he has ever committed? Or did he stare into the devil, your eyes? Ask why did you explain to him that fear caused your fingers to tremble on that trigger, shoot him in his side? Did you apologize? We won't forgive you, you know. Won't understand your fear because there are much scarier things in this world than a black man. But the court will. Because a court full of people who look just like you understand white tears plus white fear is a scary mix. And you'll walk out of that courtroom smiling ear to ear because you just got away with murder based off of fear. Thank you.
Judges, hold those scores high in 3, 2, 1. We have from low to high an 8.1, an 8.6, an 8.8, an 8.8, an 8.9. Applaud the poet! And keep that applause going. Welcome up to the stage the third poet in the first round, Pocket.
The last couple months, I've been numbering my thoughts. In between, I've been drawing lines and connecting dots for people I've got a lot of trouble explaining my mentality. I'm so deep into this shit you can make the bull out of me. But I'm honest of my honesty. So honestly, I'm no genius. I have quietness and fear of interpretation just like anybody else. It's just in every tick and every talk, every step we walk, just another second where we go, cuckoo. So from the here and now to the there and then, just want to get it through to you. Anybody can do what I do. It's no taboo, juju, hocus pocus, magic voodoo. It's just everything I think I thought I knew, I think I thought. So I brought these weirder thoughts in every conversation. Every trial, tribulation, well, that's just another chance, another demonstration of geniusness. Because that's all this unneededly, tortuously, redeemably redundant and overcomplication of language is. Me, trying to be amazing, trying to be genius. For you. But it's meaningless. This will persist just as the sum total of something someone once said. But meaninglessness is meaningless too, isn't it? Right now, we're alive, not cuckoo. See, I want me to be the me I want me to be, same way I want you wanting you to be the you want to. Living as if we've nothing more to offer but everything to give. As if every moment lived after next was simply for the context. Forget pretext, simply speak as you've never been spoken to. Scream, shout, yell. Tell the world everything you wish to. Because even the hours feel like instants so further distant, you move. So move. If you've got something to prove, prove it. I've met too many people worried of too many possibilities. What if he, she, them, they? What if they say no? What if I can't do it? What if I'm not honest enough to make them feel what I feel? To make them see what I see? What if you, what if me? But the answer will always be, just shut up. Try to be you. For even though we may never know what any of this had ever meant, it must have been genius. It was you.
Give it up for Pocket! Judges, let's see what you got for that score. In 3, 2, 1, hold 'em high. We have from low to high an 8.1, an 8.5, an 8.5, an 8.6, and an 8.9 for Pocket. Applaud the poet! And keep it going, welcome up to the stage, Ladia.
I started out unconscious, youthful and unaware. The devil told me, pick your poison just to clear my tears. She'd say, don't worry about me. Share on my positive spirit. But it was then I was drowning out the words so I couldn't hear it. I didn't want to feel it. The moment I knew, my world collapsed so fast so I couldn't deal with. The pain and sorrow was filling. The future had no fulfillment. No gravitation towards the end of the tunnel. I wanted to kill shit. Confusion, rage, adrenaline. I wanted to shed like a skeleton. I wanted to take devil's poison and turn it to habits like pills and medicine. Lately, I felt the tension, and neither did I pay attention. Mama's crying, it ain't her intention. Said to the sky, are you here? You listening? Swallowed my pride, held up my resistance, till I heard a soft voice in the distance. It was her, but she was non-existent. She whispered, "Hey, baby girl, just listen. Hold on. Feelings you'll bury, this weight you carry. Please don't be wary. Hold on. Feelings you'll bury. I know it's scary, but it's temporary." People started turning on me. Had a few friends, not gonna say I'm lonely. A soul sister had my back, she was there, my only concern were the kids who kinda picked it on me. I ran to the bathroom, cried my eyes out. The words they heard, it was a bunch of lies. How could I be so gullible and stupid to allow the laughs and the lies to affect and tear me down? Little did I know, I was more than gifted. We all felt this common cycle, which is sick and twisted. People downgrading others who are simply existing, probably because they always felt a piece of themselves missing. It was then I had to make a decision. Was I gonna give in, switch to positive living? Or was I gonna give up, keep tripping and slipping on my own two sleeves, loose moves and just wishing? Felt like inside of me there was a clock ticking, but I knew that was just me and my intuition. Knew what I was gonna do, so I'm sitting thinking, I'll use music to entertain my vision. Hold on, feelings you'll bury, this weight you carry, please don't be wary. Hold on, feelings you'll bury, I know it's scary, it's temporary.
Get up, Verselandia. Judges, make your decisions and let's see those scores. Hold them high in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have from low to high an 8.2, an 8.3, an 8.8, an 8.9, and a 9.0 for Verselandia. Applaud the poet. And keep it going. Welcome to the stage, the 5th poet in the first round, Zoe F.
That remind me of you. Stop signs, student handouts, sunflowers, sunrises, sunshine, fishnet stockings, documentaries about the American opium crisis, addiction, the color red, crying, Burnside Street, my bed, summer, the season, and the person, my own body, clocks, the word, suicide, the word, recovery, the word, love, the word, fading, wedding rings, blood, drum sets, the serenity prayer, my mom's giant light-up snowflake, my future, getting up in the morning, and all of my poetry. I shouldn't be so angry. I shouldn't feel like I let you down. You've been in treatment for 1 year and 3 months now, and my savior complex is still showing. I still think I could have saved you on my own. Rescued you from the spoon, the lighter and the syringe, the smack, the ER, the treatment center, the city, the concealer in the crooks of your elbows, the edge of that knife, your own anger and sadness, the push and pull of your complicated life. I wanted to be a hero. Wanted to pull you out of the fire and into my arms because I wanted to save you. I've never wanted to protect anyone like I wanted to protect you. All these feelings and truths and emotions still sting. Hurt like a shallow paper cut that won't heal for weeks. I don't know if you can forgive me for the things I have just said in this poem, the anger that I've just released in this poem. It's not about you, this poem, it's about me, this poem. I'm trying to let go with this poem as the anger flies in all directions, things that remind me of you. Warm skin, the big book, the way that the sky gets lighter at the edges, sweaty palms, cold noses, black and blue plaid, my future. Getting up in the morning and all of my poetry.
Judges, let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have a 7.8. Let them know how you feel. An 8.1, an 8.3, an 8.3, and a 9.0. Applaud the poet. And please put your hands together for Avi. Or is it Ari? Ari, please welcome to the stage.
That day, I ride the bus unexpectedly. My head held down in a book, my thoughts wrapped around myself like a closed cocoon. Little did I know, you would never signal a warning. That day, I arrive at school. I stand in a PE locker room, listen as you speak to me, as your voice pierces through me and your fist closes to a clutch tighter than the cocoon I have shrunk into. The word faggot rings through my ear like a whistle wailing in the wind as thoughts and actions suddenly turn to fear and silence. A siren, your fist connects to my chest. Head held down to the ground, spectators stand silent. I am a spectacle to behold. I begin to understand that because I am different, a man who loves another man, I have become a shapeshifter, forcing myself like a commodity to shift and turn, to wrap myself around a veil of camouflage, because there are no warning shots when you are the target. How many lives have to be lost to homophobia and intolerance before we realize that this will never have a warning call, that this is not just going on here, that this is never going to stop in Russia and Poland and Iran and Egypt and Libya and 60 other countries where being gay is synonymous with being a terrorist until we stand up. Amanda Gonzalez, Tony Alston, Tetra Tyra, Michael Phillips, Elisa Mickelson, stand up and say their names and repeat them, because until we stand up, there will never be a warning call. Their words are pulled from the waste, every word filling bullets, chambers of my heart's lack of action or reaction as we stand watching, waiting, wondering when will you stand up and man up and speak up. They wield an insult in one hand and intolerance in the other, throwing hate and fuel into the fire. How many times does it take before we realize that humans are no longer a commodity? That 93% of gay students being bullied in school is no longer a warning call or a siren. This is a firefight. But if this is a firefight, then I am a firecracker and we are fireworks, because we will fight back. And we will continue to fight. Our words pulled from the waist, aimed back at them. If their words are bullets, then we are made of bulletproof glass, because we will no longer shatter. We will fire back, because we are the gasoline to your fire, the heartbeat to your flatline, and the thunder to their silence. When we stand up, our words make a goddamn explosion. Judges, let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have, from low to high, we have an 8.7, an 8.7, an 8.9, an 8.9, and a 9.3. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going, and welcome to the stage, Hunter.
In my heart of hearts, I live in the sewer. I only come out at night, and I drink soap like fine whiskey from public dispensers. In my heart of hearts, I see myself frightening children with a Charlie Bronson Halloween mask. I see jetting down the highway in a stolen Tesla with all the dead celebrities in the back. I see holding up a Carl's Jr. in Redding, California, and making it my ancestral seat of power. My hair is monofilament wire I use to cut down stop signs and through Gordian knots. My teeth are werewolf teeth. So come with me. The prophets can't watch us here in my heart of hearts. You and me and all of us, we will burn forever. Eat up all the oxygen in this weird little graveyard. I see us felling and eating Bernie Getz. I see us in socks and sandals at the beach at the end of the world. And if there is a God, I'd like to think we could take him, if it ever came to that. Because he made us shotgun-headed, he made us criminals. The sun doesn't set in my heart of hearts because we are always rising. Thank you.
Get up for Hunter! You judges, make your decisions, make your tallies, and let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1, hold them up. We have, from low to high, a 7.7, an 8.0, an 8.3, an 8.8, and an 8.8. Applaud the poet. And help me welcome up to the stage the 8th poet in the first round, Maggie.
I have hidden hurricanes. I didn't tell my brother I had OCD for 2 years. I remember thinking there was no way he would ever understand. Why couldn't he have OCD and not me? No. No, I would never wish this upon anyone, not even my brother, when he drowned all my Barbies in the bathtub. I encountered my first hurricane when I was still young enough to jump in puddles, 3rd grade, when I still didn't understand my own meteorology. I remember sitting at the back of the bus, wondering if the others could hear my thoughts like the rain against the window, let me in, let me in, let me in. And so I adorned myself in sandbags, so that not even a spray of salty water would hit anyone within a 5-foot radius. And do you know how heavy a sandbag is? Those suckers weigh like 500 pounds. It weighs you down. I named my hurricanes. Last week was Lucifer. This week, Mephistopheles. There's a storm crashing down my shoulders, a sadness that is thunderous, that has left me weathered like a stone at 10 years old. Every night in 4th grade, when everyone else was asleep, I would will my tired body out of bed to check the knobs on the stove. Because if our house burned down and my entire family with it, it would be my fault. And not even my own rain could put out the guilt that would burn inside me. I remember the way the thoughts would pound into the pavement of my brain. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And so I would head back down to the kitchen, face soaked. I remember when someone finally told me, "You used to be more fun." That's probably because at that point, all I could speak about was the weather. That day, I felt about as big as small talk. It has been 8 years now. And the thing is, it is still the rainy season. But the difference is, rain is only white noise to me now. And the thing is, when you have seen storms, you begin to see them in others. Hear the blaring storm warnings that have fallen deaf on the ears of many, silent as a soliloquy. See the sheen of wet skin even on those who have tried to sop up every last drop within the arms of a sweatshirt. 2 years ago, my brother was diagnosed with OCD, and that was it. That was the straw that broke the water-damaged ceiling. I should have never wished that upon him. And so even though I had stepped out of that water years ago, I looked to the fingers that had once been so soaked, they looked like raisins,
and I reached out to him. Thank you.
Give it up for Maggie. Judges, make your decisions, and let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have an 8.0, an 8.1, an 8.5, an 8.6, and an 8.8 from Maggie. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going. Welcoming up to the stage, Dimitri.
10 steps to letting go of the victim. 9, know that your process is not a product. Know that every breath inward is one rush forward, and know that healing is never linear. 1, mourn for your past, for the body that was taken with no regards. Mourn for your present, for the empty shell that once was is now beginning to bury. And mourn for your future, for the growing seeds that won't allow you to become just a victim, but will help sow your way towards surviving. 7, you are beautiful is the seance to every bruised hip, to every tightened grip of the wrist, and to every stream of blood that swam their way down your thighs. You are beautiful is a fading memory that leaves bruises under your eyes like the bruises left on stretched skin, a fading memory of rushed apologies paling in comparison to whispered promises, and the ghost of a touch that no longer knows you. 2, conscious thought is your enemy. But sleep doesn't come in gentle reminders. Sleep comes in the fist of regrets, in frightful realities that burrow through dimensions and rush pleads for forgiveness to a deity that doesn't respond. You are awake. The thing keeping you up isn't the monsters in your closet, but the demons in your skin, and it is a stained reminder that has yet to be washed away. 8, they give you pills to keep you silent. They let you wake through the night. They put you on suicide watch. But the only thing they're watching for is if your mouth will open and out them all. Because an abuser on the run isn't what they're looking for. They'd rather have a victim at their heels than a rapist in their cells. 4, a war rages inside of you, a battle between 3 sides that can see no end, a battle of wanting to forgive and forget. But the chains rattle in an ongoing process of tug and war, back and forth between forgiving the ones who harmed you, forgetting the harm that came to you, and never wanting to give in to a notion not meant for your subscriptions. 6, and now you're left with dirty, rotten bones. 3, we don't talk about the lonely nights. The nights where you missed the one who harmed you because you thought they loved you the most. The nights where you wish someone else would hold you because holding yourself became too tiresome. The nights where you are one screen away from texting them and telling them you want them back, but you know that as soon as you do, everything will go back to the way it was. And you don't deserve that pain. You don't. 5, 10, you are not the victim. 10, you were not the victim. 10, you will not be the victim. 10, there are no victims. 10, you are the survivor. Thank you.
Give it up for Dimitri. Judges, let's see your tallies. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have, from low to high, we have an 8.3, an 8.4, an 8.6, an 8.7, and an 8.9. Applaud the poet. And let us welcome to the stage the next poet, Lucinda.
I'm a bit of a crier. In fact, I'm sort of
an expert on the matter. I've done my time, I've got my master's. If I wanted, I could charge $100 to teach a class, but I've decided to be generous with my learnings and instead devise a list for all you people who are yearning for some clarity on the matter. A list of wheres and where-nots, a list of hows and how-nots, a list of Lucinda's top 5 all-occasion best and worst places to cry. I will start with the worst. Number 5, on a college tour. Preferably if you make the other parents and their kids uncomfortable. I bet they thought it was the financial aid that made me so emotional. I saw no reason to correct them. Number 4, on stage. Preferably if you play it off like an artistic choice. Who knew tree number 4 had such a complex character backstory? Maybe she's gonna be the next upcoming prodigy. Nope, something's just wrong psychologically. Number 3, in the freezer section of a Fred Meyer's. Preferably while clutching a bagged rotisserie chicken to your chest. The employees kept asking if I needed any help. I'll give you a hint. I did. Number 2, on camera. Preferably if it ends up on social media afterwards. I'll tell you right now, puffy eyes are not attractive qualities. Number 1, at somebody else's birthday party, preferably while eating their entire birthday cake. But don't feel too bad. They'll get another next year. I hope. Sorry, Grandma. I know those sound rough, but don't worry. It's not all as bad as it seems. There are plenty of ways to relieve your feelings while still retaining your dignity. So let's move on. To the top 5 better places to cry. Number 5, all alone. While being accompanied by sad music, if you try hard enough, it's almost as if you're in an indie movie, and, well, you sort of are. Number 4, on a bench in the park, while holding a loaf of bread. The pigeons won't mind your wallowing, and they will appreciate your weepy crumbs. Number 3, in the rain, on somebody's porch in an act of love, if you're lucky, as the protagonist in a rom-com, but either way, the rain will disguise your tears, or at least wash them away. Number 2, in the bath, while eating ice cream out of the carton. Drown your feelings in the warm water, numb your hurt with a pity sundae. And now, number 1, in the arms of someone who cares while they are crying too. But out of love and not of pity, and out of strength and not of shame. Thank you.
Give it up for Lucinda. Judges, let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have an 8.5, a 9.1, a 9.3, a 9.4, and a 9.5 for Lucinda. Applaud the poet. And please welcome up the next poet, Trillium.
The inhale burns the back of my throat. Raindrops sting my skin, and this time I feel it. The trees whisper sweet nothings to the wind. Leaves don't fall on days like this. It's getting easier to smile or cry when I'm nervous. The words burn to ash as they fall from my mouth. I've been living to the same playlist for days. The steady beat fills my empty chest. I didn't realize I missed seeing with my eyes. The corners of my mind are getting bigger again. The fire-eyed trees shiver, watch me shake through the gaps in their ever-rustling leaves. They know every year how the world will cave. I'm slipping back, sometimes on purpose. I know I shouldn't, but I'm in love with the fall. The air rushes through my fingers, and I feel so safe in this smoke cloud blanket. I keep having dreams about an end, and it's getting hard to see again. There's broken glass in the kitchen. I never knew how much my limbs weighed, and it's been there for weeks now. Am I past the point of no return? Can I still go back? Can my life have worth? How am I supposed to keep moving through this empty world? Scorching fears pulse through these tangled blue veins, screaming the rhythm of my heart. I can't breathe, but I don't know how to get them out. Please say you understand, 'cause I'm letting you down just like always. And I can't stand myself for breaking this world we made to keep me safe, but that bright spring beginning will never feel like me. I don't know how to live without this. The thunder and rain, the late night storms that keep me awake. I've grown used to overcast days, chilling my soul but keeping me safe. I know these storms stir up things meant to stay buried, drenches me in memories, pushes me down. But the thing is, doesn't it look lovely?
Round of applause for Trillium. Judges, make your decisions and let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have from low to high a 7.1, a 7.8, a 7.9, an 8.1, and an 8.4 for Trillium. Applaud the poet. And let's keep that energy going and bring up the next poet, Nicole.
Black women are the epitome of enigma, the personification of perfection. I said the personification of perfection. Beauty in the eye of every beholder. And for far too long, y'all have been asleep, so as I spill this tea, sip this Folgers. I am subconsciously sublime, and like wine, I just get better with time because I am carrying the weight of my ancestors on my back, and I am nowhere near oblivious to the fact that society just wants me to lay on my back, do crack, and have a couple babies. A white man could shoot me, and I would go to jail first for saying it's shady. Nefertiti, Cleopatra, Harriet, Sojourner, Ruby Bridges, Rosa Parks, Coretta King. Y'all are who I look up to, who I speak to from my knees. So I ask you, I beg kindly, when I am tripping, guide me, remind me. Tell me that I am a black queen, and from everything I could have been born, I was born looking like you. From the way that my skin gleams in the sun to the way the words curl off of my tongue, I am who they desire and to which y'all aspire. Tell me I'm pretty, I'm worth it, I deserve it, because in a world like this, in a place like this, with a face like this and a shape like this, I am always a target. Whether it be from the men who think my consent is up for bargain, or for the women who hate me for the way that I look and then pay thousands for the body that I inherited. Or from the die-hard Americans who find it imperative to remind me that I do not belong in a place that I did not ask to be. The most disrespected woman in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. And the most neglected person in America is the black woman. And that fucking sucks, because the love, the brains, the beauty, and the care of a black woman is something that many cannot touch. Yet too often I hear the stereotype that we are ghetto or down on our luck. So just in case you were wondering, 43 out of 50 black women graduate high school, and that is 86%. And when it comes to money, business is booming with a 322% rise in black female-owned businesses since 1997. So, black girls in college surpasses any other race in, and that includes America's prized white men. So using that uneducated jab, you not gonna win. I could mention the paper bags, caller ID, windshield wipers, diapers, the heater, the brush, half the things that you and I need, we invented, yet we are still not worthy of love, protection, affection. But karma gonna come around and you'll learn your lesson.
Give it up for Nicole. Judges. Let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have, starting from low, we have an 8.4, an 8.7, a 9, a 9, and a 9 for Nicole. Give it up for the poet. And please welcome up to the stage, Becca.
Plus-size clothing is pushed to the back of the store, or doesn't exist at all. Why am I hidden? I see cute size 2 clothing right there on that mannequin, but the torso hole of that shirt wouldn't fit around one of my thighs. I'm not advertised. I'm not revered. In fact, I think it's pretty fucking weird that unlike all those other girls, I'm not out for the world to see. Instead, I'm stuck staring and caring and yearning to be and wondering all the while what the hell is the matter with me. I don't dress like a 60-year-old, and I certainly don't go around in bikinis all the time, so why do I only ever see myself modeling sweatsuits, swimsuits, or some stair climb? I love disappointing my mother by wearing ripped jeans, collared shirts, and broken shoes. That is what I choose because I am 15 years old. 20-year-olds acting as teens in the media get to wear clothing that's fit for queens, so why do I have to shop in the men's section? Have you seen the way dudes dress themselves? Why is my body type not available in video games? Why am I the best friend of the protagonist? Why am I not represented in popular movies? Why am I reduced to the shame of a before picture? I will not shield my innocent peers from my body. I mean, their following of dress code is shoddy at best, so I will show my fat rolls. I will show my stretch marks. I will show my cankles. I will show my second chin. I will show the fat peeking out of my goddamn waistband, because how does it affect you? Ugly, skinny boys say that they want a thick baby girl to liven up their life, but then a woman with a fat stomach walks past and suddenly they're as unavailable as the ice cream machine at McDonald's. Thick does not mean big butt. Thick does not mean big tits. Thick means everything that comes with that big butt, with those big tits, with that hourglass body. Thick means fat. Like FAT fat. You better believe that while my thighs will touch, while my arms will have flab, while my ass will have cellulite, I will love myself. And you will be selectively blind. I'm not advertised. I'm not revered. I wonder what's wrong with me, but maybe I'm not the problem.
Give it up for Becca. Judges. Let's see what you thought of the poem. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have, starting from low, an 8.4. Let them know how you feel. An 8.7, an 8.8, an 8.8, and an 8.9 for Becca. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going. Welcome up to the stage, Danny.
Yes, mom, dad, uncle, grandpa, we know the story. Back in your day, you had to walk 5 miles a day, uphill both ways in the snow. On a weekly basis, you had to run from 10-ton carnivorous dinosaurs. Your teachers all spoke in monotone and would whip you as punishment for incorrect answers. After school, you headed down to the coal mines for your 8-hour shift, because back in your day, kids were tough and knew the value of hard work. Unlike us millennials who don't work, wimps who hide away in our safe spaces and make art rather than contributing to society, want to live in the now instead of planning for our futures, have no respect, and spend our lives endlessly screaming into the dark to no avail for no cause or any cause. Well, generic authority figure, I apologize for my disrespect, but you speak fondly of the good old days, and I just look at the ruin around me and think, maybe good is a poor adjective. When I misbehaved as a child, you told me you would give me something to cry about. I thought you were going to hit me, but instead you abused the world's natural resources, polluted the atmosphere, put chemicals in my food, and killed the polar bears. We retreat to safe spaces because the world is no longer safe. We don't rush to jobs when we turn 16 like you did because we see what working your whole lives has done to you and we think that's not what I want to be when I grow up. We make art as a tribute to the world that is dying around us. I love you guys and you seem like good people individually, but collectively you made the future generations your punching bag. We have to live with the bruising you left upon us. You threw a haymaker and gave the planet a brain bleed. You thought you were shining a bright light upon the earth, but it was just the hot sun melting the polar ice caps. Ursus maritimus is drowning, and so are we. We scream because we hope someone will listen. You tell stories of the world you grew up in to your children and grandchildren as if trying to prove a point about how tough you had to be and how easy our generation has it. I will tell stories to my kin with pity. A deep crevice dug out of my heart every time I have to tell them about a world that they do not get to know. Because, son, back in my day, there were beautiful flowers and trees and fields of green grass. There are millions of species of animals that roam the earth, all under a blue sky and a warm sun. The air was clear, and me and my friends would go outside and play for hours at a time. That's what we did, son, back in my day.
Give it up for Danny! Judges! What do we have for Danny? Please hold your scores up in 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. We have, from low to high, we have an 8.1, an 8.2, an 8.1, an 8.8, and a 9. Applaud the poet. Keep that applause going and welcome up the next poet in the first round, Mia.
Dear Congress, Senate, Trump, people in power, it seems to me you're living under a rock in this hour of need as guns devour teens every hour. Can you see the shower of blood from gunpowder and gunshots, yet you cower and the laws stay the same? Do I need to scream to you the stat about the 1,077 people who have been killed in mass shootings since 1966, or the fact that you've just sat on the splat of blood that is on your hands because you could have saved them? Nicholas was 17 and ready for college and swim team, which he had been recruited to and keen to be on. But he was killed in a mass shooting and you could have saved him. Sandy was 34 and engaged and she couldn't wait for her wedding day, but all that slipped away when she was killed in a mass shooting and you could have saved her. Olivia was only 6 years old. She loved to dance, play soccer, and swim. Imagine all the things she could have been if she hadn't been killed in the Sandy Hook shooting. If you had saved her. I don't understand how you shove your feet in the sand and don't take a stand because I know you can stand up for us. Kids are marching in the street in protest, trying to pick up the mess of blood you made. We're stressed and crying as dead bodies are laid. We're trying to digest all the loss you pressed on us. We're oppressed in our messed up homes, where every day's a test of whether or not we'll live. We yell, protesting this hell, and you tell us, we send our prayers words, we want change. And we think it's strange that you have so much range in your power, yet don't arrange help in this hour, and estrange yourselves and exchange our lives for money. Everybody keeps saying, never again, but it happened again. Everybody keeps asking, how many more? How many more lives must be lost? How many more shootings? How many more gunshots? How many more dead moms, dads, kids, brothers, sisters, best friends? How many more until the shootings end? Well, I refuse to ask that because despite everything, the laws haven't changed. I will not ask how many more, I will demand change because this isn't a liberal thing or a democratic thing or a Republican thing, it's a human thing because every person has a life and every person can lose it. I refuse to live in a world where kids have to walk into school and think, where will I hide? I refuse to live in a world where kids are shoved inside of lockers and under cubbies to abide shooting drills. I refuse to live in a world where people have to live afraid out of their minds. So, dear people in power, do something in this hour of need. Plant the seed of change. Don't concede. Can't you see? We speak, we scream. We refuse to live in a world where we have to be afraid of people shooting us down. We are screaming and demanding for change. Stop shooting us down. Stop shooting our demands down. Can you not hear the bullet sound? Can you not hear us all around screaming, enough?
Applaud the poet. Judges, tally up those numbers and let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have an 8.4, an 8.6, an 8.7, an 8.8, and a 9.2 from Mia. Applaud the poet and keep that applause going. Welcome to the stage, Angelia.
For hours or minutes at a time in the car with my mother, I'm sitting in the passenger seat, gray and weathered, from the many times I sat before in that seat and from the many times of those who came before me. My great aunt, my grandmother. Now, it's my turn to be the therapist and say, what would you like to talk about today? I'm listening. She tells me stories of uncles and aunts, her grandmother, my brother, those in-laws. She tells me all these stories of the past, and sometimes we laugh our heads off so much that I can't breathe. Other times she wants to cry. Other times I want to cry. I just keep my ears open. Mother keeps talking like an AM radio station full of static and things I don't understand. Then she tunes it back to 89.1 FM. The dial switching silently past the stations, jazz surrounding my mind every morning or every night. Whenever I get into the car, it's there. Then my dad switches it back to 88.3. Your local Catholic station, the bridge between your faith and everyday life. Before he drives the kids to school, before he drives to work. Anyway, she talks about the future. It bothers her like the cobwebs building up in every corner of the house. It worries her like the army of ants that march in the kitchen every summer. It burdens her with the weight of 4 children on her back, needing, sleeping, feeding, spending, playing. I'm praying. I get it already. At this point, just drop it. She has to drive my brother to counseling. She has to pick up cigarettes for my dad so he can sell them at his store for wholesale, or whatever errand. She has to drive to the gym and hope that she'll lose weight. Her knees start to hurt every time she goes up the stairs, she says, slowly cracking and fusing. With the jolting pain in her knees, she controls the brakes. I sit there in the passenger seat, consoling her with silence. Glancing outside the window and streets passing by. What should we eat for dinner tonight? I'm not even paying attention anymore. Home stretch. I can finally see the corner of the street we turn into. Session's over. See you next time. After we get home, everything is silent and somber like a funeral. I don't say a word because, in our house, the words are dead, lingering in the air, never dispelling. Never would I say them around my siblings. It's too much. Sometimes I wish I could drive so I wouldn't have to think so much. The convenient therapist who doesn't know how to handle herself talks to herself. She doesn't have a PhD. She wasn't trained for this, nor was she ever expecting this. Still, I listen. For who knows how many days I'll have with her. For who knows how long these memories will last. Thank you.
it up for Angelia. Judges, let's see what you have in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have an 8.1, an 8.4, an 8.5, an 8.5, and a 9.0. Applaud the poet. And please welcome up to the stage, Kaylin.
I'm kind of losing my voice right now, so I apologize if I sound like a dying frog. I hate myself. I hate how I look in the mirror only to see my imperfections. I hate how I'm always comparing my accomplishments to my transgressions. I hate the way I surround myself in silence just to make myself feel heard. And I hate that I can recite my flaws from basic to bitch, word for word. I hate that what I hate won't fit in a 10 bullet point list. I hate that I thought of jotting those bullets down across my wrist. I hate that razor blades send more of a message than pens these days. And I hate that I'm at a point where I can write about those messages in way too many ways. I hate that my skin blisters and peels off in the sun like a raisin. I hate how my protective clothing is often the cause of humiliation. I hate how my pale complexion and glasses gives me a scarlet letter A for easy. And I hate how the boys who exploit that are sexist, disgusting, and sleazy. I hate how my opinions are stepped on and flattened quicker than some basic bro's futon. I hate the people who say I can't really know hip-hop. I'm sorry, but do you have any gray poop on? I hate that the events of my childhood have convinced me to never have kids, and I hate that women making that choice are visualized as selfish, money-hungry pigs. I detest myself. I detest that my period gives me mood swings worse than the swings taken at women by society. I detest that those women have to conform to a standard of filial piety. I detest that when I speak up for myself, I'm not advocating for change, I'm just being a bitch. And I detest that my voice is disregarded like it's nothing more than some white boy's annoying itch. I dislike myself. I dislike the hate perpetrated by my race that puts everyone else in second place. I dislike the boys just aren't into you if they feel like they can keep up with your pace. I dislike that politicians care more about a mother's inability to choose over thousands of kids getting shot up at school. And I dislike that some asshole can just buy an assault rifle when it is so fucking obviously not going to be used as a gardening tool. I abhor myself. I abhor drinking coffee and seeing less black in pop culture than I do in my refreshment. I abhor that the administration condemns Nazis only when it's acting as a replacement. I abhor the missing sense I see in the lack of change I make to every man's dollar. And I abhor that defending yourself against harassment brings you less peace and more dishonor. I resent myself. I resent that drivers pay more attention to my ass than they do to stop signs. I resent that saying stop does nothing to keep their hands within the sidelines. I resent that crying, what the fuck, raises more eyebrows than some boys' arms around your shoulders. And I resent that not all men are willing to speak up against society's many sexual assaulters. I hate myself. But I hate the person you personally acknowledge, not the real me. I hate how my mind is inhabiting my body like it's somebody else's piece of property. I hate my... Wait. No, I don't think I do. Is it possible that this whole time the person I really hated was you?
Give it up for Kaylin. Judges, make your decisions, pick those numbers, and hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.6, an 8.7, an 8.9, an 8.9, and a 9.5 for Kaylin. Applaud the poet. And please welcome up to the stage the next poet, Jolly Rapper, rapper with a W.
I came here tonight because I knew that this was the only place where people would actually listen. I shouldn't have to compete in a poetry slam just to grab your attention, but since I do have it, let me just use this as my activism and showcase my voice to speak to any who stand for the educational system. I could be talking about the teachers. I could be referring to the people who tell the teachers how to teach. Or maybe I'm talking about the politicians, puppeteers who dangle every school representative on a string. Or maybe I'm talking about anyone who says there ain't a problem with how the government thinks. They say, think about the future. They say, think about the children. But what they never seem to think about are the young minds that they are killing. They say, let's teach them equally. They say, and just so it's fair, let's hold them all to the exact same standards. If they struggle, it's their fault. It doesn't matter. See, school boards have trouble accepting the fact that every mind is different and has specific statures and different tactics on receiving information and adapting to different patterns. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different passions. We all have to fight our own demons and slay our own dragons. We all have a past. Some stories that the school counselors can't begin to imagine. And let's get one thing clear. I'm not just a percentage that you can use as evidence to shut me down. I'm no statistic on a chart. I'm no GPA that you could hold against me if it's low and hold against others if it's high. I'm no clay that you can mold to fill the potholes on the streets. I'm no thread that you can use to sew the fabrics that you tore. I'm no umbrella that you can use for when your skies are turning gray. I'm no voice that you can use when you have nothing left to say. I'm none of those. Oh wait, I am. Because I am nothing but what society sees me as. I am only as smart as what my teachers perceive me as. I am only as successful as what my family believes me as. I am only as popular as how other students treat me as. Please relax is what they tell me once my mind starts thinking. They tell us to raise the bar but get mad once the bars start meeting. Soon as my art starts speaking and my marks start peaking, that's when their egos start shrinking, so they pull my cord right before my heart starts beating. They all always tell me that I need to start taking school more serious and that I need to get a grip. But hey, who's to say if I'm right or wrong? I'm only just a kid.
Jolly rapper! Judges, make your decisions and let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have from low to high an 8.7, an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.0, and a 9.1. Applaud the poet. We have 3 more poets in this first round. Please give it up for the next one, Mercedes.
Dear younger self, you are not a burden. You are not disposable. You are not this worthless thing. You are just too much to carry. Their arms were not strong enough to hold all your everlasting love. That's why they left. Some people were not meant to stay. Let them walk away. And oh, honey, he is not the one. And neither is the next guy. Neither of them could have saved you from yourself. You are a damsel in distress, but you are also your own savior. You've always had this light inside of you that wants to make a difference in the world. So do it. Stop giving a damn about what everyone else thinks of you. What do you think of you? You are a soft, ethereal creature.
You're made from stars and moon dust. I know that you think these things are all permanent, but the moments, the pain, everything, they're all fleeting. Temporary things are just that, temporary. You are allowed to be happy. Please, let yourself be. Things will get better. And that's not to say it will be easy. You're gonna have a really hard time, but it will all be worth it. So get your ass up, wipe away those tears, and take your life back. Because it's yours. All yours.
Give it up for Mercedes. And judges, let's see those scores. Hold them high in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have an 8.0, an 8.3, an 8.5, an 8.6, and an 8.8. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going. Welcome up to the stage, Zara.
To all the white boys who broke my heart. You're hearing this and you're already upset. You say I use white like a slap in the face. Racist is the sharpest word you've ever had to deal with. I don't know how to tell you that loving you is claustrophobia. Every time your words shrink my story smaller, the room shrinks with it, keeps getting smaller every time you say I don't see race, my oxygen filling your lungs. And you told me that I occupy the room when I speak. But you never understood how loud I have to speak to be heard over all that white noise. Why I cried the night you told me. Why I cried the night you told me. Sorry, okay. And isn't it funny how I have to work twice as hard to thrive in a country whose scientists tried to prove me stupid, and you're the one with the C in English? Now, you didn't break my heart. My heart is too hard to be broken, hardened through years of boys just like you, acting like it's so much better with an exotic girl, like my body is some vacation house in Cabo that you can just trash. And I know you're tired too, like you're tired and your mouth just got tired of chewing me up and spitting me out. See, you can only eat for so long before you run out of Thanksgiving. Maybe I wonder why I go back to you every time, why you take up all the space in my poetry too. Maybe it's because you make me feel more American in the only country I've ever known. Maybe you're as close as I can get to being white. People like you write history books, so if you say I'm beautiful, it must be true. So if you write my story, I won't be forgotten. I won't be forgotten. Sorry, guys. This story won't end in another flag being put down. I am a love letter to myself and to every brown woman who ever mistook herself for a shadow in his light, whoever counted her words like calories as he grew plump on her silence. As he grew plump on her silence. Thank you.
Give it up for Zara. Judges, tally up those scores, tally up those thoughts, and let's see what you have in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have a 7.5, an 8.3, an 8.3, an 8.4, and a 9.1. Applaud the poet. And let's keep that applause going. Welcome up the last poet in the first round, Luke.
There is a word that's supposed to mean happiness, but what's the point when that happiness isn't real? I chase my happiness, running away from my work. The work comes and it comes, faster and faster. Suddenly I'm sinking down, I drown. I'm drowning in work, I'm drowning in work, I'm drowning in word. A word that's supposed to mean happiness. I'm drowning in word, word of the Lord. Leviticus 18:22. Numbers. I hate numbers. Math has numbers. I'm drowning in math. I hate numbers. The numbers of teen suicides. How I'm 3 times more likely to think. How I'm 5 times more likely to try. And 8.4 times more likely than those who are lucky. I hate numbers. I'm a word that's supposed to mean happiness. Searching for happiness, only finding doors in my face. The doors of a home. Home is where the heart is. My heart is with him, but he won't let me in. I'm drowning in love, a lack of love, like air in my lungs. I can't breathe. I want to breathe. I need to breathe. This suffocating love, like dihydrogen monoxide when I need oxygen. I'm drowning. I'm drowning in work. I'm drowning in love. I'm drowning in life. I'm drowning in my own tears that have become dry over the years, and though I try, I only feel numb. I'm a word that's supposed to mean happiness, and you want to take that away from me. You want me to be right. You are right, I am wrong. You are right, I am wrong. Make me right. There's no use going left when I'm only ever left in the never-ending zone where we only ever end as just friends. Maybe I'm desperate for love, like I'm starving and there's no food except for those pickles. Those disgusting pickles. And I'll consider her taste because I want to feel something other than empty. Part of me knows, part of me wants to need her, but the rest knows I can't change my taste buds. I'm seen as a word that's supposed to mean happiness, but being gay hasn't made me happy at all. Thank you.
Give it up for Luke. Judges, you'll get a little break right after this. So please, one more time in the first round. Let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have a 7.7, an 8.2, an 8.4, an 8.4, and an 8.7 for Luke. Applaud the poet. And applaud all 21 poets in the first round. We'll see y'all in 15 minutes.
And you can't tell grandma cause her heart can't take it and she might not
Yeah, make some noise, make some noise! Man, yeah, I don't know how y'all feel, but that was awesome. Thank y'all so very, 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 very much. I mean that super truthfully, super sincerely. Getting to stand here backstage and listen to these poems is at least for me a real treat and honor. So thank you very, very much. I've got the 10 folks here that are moving on into this second round that we're going to hear from. So I'm going to announce those off, and here we go. We're going to hear in this order: Hadia, Ari, Nicole, Jolly Rapper, Becca, Mia, Kaylin, Dimitri, Lucinda, and Zoe D. So a round of applause for those 10, and a round of applause for the 11 others from the first round. It is a challenge to be a human in the world and engage with your vulnerability when you're alone. It is that much more challenging to engage with your vulnerability in front of others. It is amazing what these young poets do on this stage, so please, another heavy, hearty round of applause. Thank y'all so very much. All right, judges, are y'all good to go? That was the most anticlimactic thing ever, and I love it. Poets, are y'all good to go? Audience, are y'all good to go? All right, let's do this. First poet in the second round, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Hadia. Hadia.
The way we pray for the ones who will not love us back. Hi God, it's me again. Today was real nice and I was real good to everyone and I didn't even frown once, even when I seen him with her. Even when he pretended he did not know me, pretended we were never in love. You know, he used to call me the light of his life, Lord, called me his son. It's ironic how I never saw the light of day with him. All our time spent at night as I counted stars, counted blessings, counted reasons I loved him, he found her. She was his moon. How could you make me so silly, God? He always loved night more than day. How could you allow me and all my rays to be eclipsed by a damn moon? How dare you make me that vulnerable, that pathetic, make me want to sin for a nigga that ain't never even prayed for me, cry my eyes out, and beg for the devil to love me back. Thank you.
Give it up for Hadia. Judges, let's see those scores. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.3, an 8.5, an 8.7, an 8.8, an 8.8. Regardless of what you think of the score, applaud the poet. And keep that energy going and welcome up to the stage the second poet in the second round, Ari.
Okay, listen. Stand up, take your earplugs out, and start hearing this, because thoughts and prayers are pretty damn worthless. We've got students going on, hands up, shot dead, all the while we're left wondering, when are we gonna be next? Quiet and pensive, thoughts apprehensive, while kids as young as 8, 9, and 10 are left to die because of your damn indifference. While I'm rehearsing my verse, kids are hauled off in a hearse. Your generation is the one who raised us, but your generation is the one who's failing us, yet your generation has the power to save us. Kids who have finally given up. Kids in the white hats stand up, cops in the lot light them up, then when your time's up, put the gun in your mouth and aim up, stand up and listen, because I will never be another goddamn statistic. What exactly do our lives mean if we are left to bleed while your congressmen give in to money and greed? We've got students who need your help, students who will die without your damn help, but you think it's enough to let kids become just another hashtag. How long do I have to wait until I am just another number on a page? Until my life is decided by my classmates who wields a mental illness in one hand and a weapon in the other? Stand up, because thoughts and prayers will never bring thousands of victims back to life. It's been over 2,000 days since Sandy Hook, and yet over 1,000 lives are left hanging on your line, standing at the knife point between your apprehension and our self-retaliation, paralyzing our minds with fear and lies. While we've tried 1,000 times not to die, you still let us die. 1,000 times we asked you why, 1,000 times you gave us bribe, 1,000 times, 1,000 minds all saying we just want to survive. We are going to stand up and find satisfaction that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, because this movement is gaining traction and you had better damn start listening. I am living a life of fear, and so are millions of other kids, all asking, am I next? Your time is up. People line up, memories are tied up, because us kids are goddamn fed up. And we will no longer fall in line with your words and lies, because we will stand up, because we will fight to stop the next Columbine or Maryland or Sandy Hook or Orlando or Parkland, because we will stand up. Your thoughts and prayers translate to our policies and action, and our policies and action translate to human lives saved. It is your time to listen to us. So stand the fuck up.
Give it up for Ari. Judges, let's see what you thought of the poem. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have an 8.7, an 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.4, and a 9.7 for Ari. Applaud the poet. And keep that applaud going. Welcome up to the stage, Nicole.
I am not your baby. And no, that is not me being shady. It's just that every nigga I've let get beside me has played me. But I know you really want to get to know me and all. You want to take me to lunch and all. You're not even trying to fuck it all. But what about me has drawn me to you? Was it the thickness of my thighs, or the way my pants curved to the shape of my hips, or was it the smile that graces upon my lips? Because I know that it was not my mind. See, because you mustn't have the time to peruse politely through where my inner fixings reside. No, you only know that I have got something that you could get inside. You have diminished me to my looks, because fuck the time I spend in books. You are impervious to the extensivity of my vocabulary, but you think that I am the type of chick you gon' marry. Nah, you can't even carry the intellectual conversations about the mass imprisonment of our black and brown patients, or the institutionalized racism of our nation. You don't even want more for yourself. You just see you as another black boy. You've already let them steal your joy, and I cannot want good for you more than you do, so nigga, back up. I'll never get the chance to free your mind from society or teach you to think unbiasedly, because you, more apparently, don't got a lot of time, baby. So if I'm gonna give you the number, I better make it hasty. There was no evaluation of my energy before you were offering me Hennessy and to buy everything that I need, because I'm a queen who don't need to be on their feet. So I said, your misogyny is leaking out your ass, pull up your pants. And let's get one thing straight. I can buy my own shit, I can take my own trips, I pat my own back because I chase my own bag. I am the calm and the storm, I am a motherfucking riot. I am soft and warm, but baby, I am a fire. I am more in a woman than you would even ever know to desire. No shade intended when I say you will never find another like me, but I guess that's why you want to wife me, huh? So I'll just say, Look both ways before you cross me, because I will fuck your whole life up.
Give it up for Nicole. Judges. Let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have a low of 8.8 and a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 9.7 for Nicole. Applaud the poet. Keep that applause going. Welcome back up to the stage for their second poem, Jolly Rapper.
This poem is titled, The Risk I Dared Take. In the kitchen is where my mother was, wearing her favorite gravy-stained apron, over and up her buttoned-up button-up. Yeah, that shirt she wore when she was painting. She always wore that shirt. Why? It had me puzzled much. Like, did she not notice the buttons were breaking? Though the shirt was creased and roughened up, it's always been here, she just couldn't replace it. Why do you always worry so much? Quit acting like you really won't make it. She said to me as she was making me lunch. Oh, I'm not worried, you must be mistaken. It's just these lyrics and ideas that I keep bundled up in my mind seem to be making me anxious. I know these lyrics aren't very much, but soon these are what will be making me famous. I peeked over her shoulder, leaned over the open drawer full of old knives that were dull and broken. Without knowing it, I nose dove into a home-full aroma that arose from the warm stove. And, by the way, Mom, what you making? Nudging me out the way, she sounded irritated. Sorry, but you have to keep waiting. I'm making your favorite. I'm cooking, quit pacing, not playing, be patient. I wondered, what's the occasion? Got tired of waiting, I just couldn't take it. Smelled so good I could basically taste it. My stomach was aching, that food I was craving. Turned the corner and the sight was amazing. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say that day I started fainting. Gazing in amazement, her creations had me changing faces. Went from nappy and bland to happy and glad. Listen to eggs get cracked on the pan. Glistening eggs go splash on the pan. Sizzling eggs go cracking and splat on the pan. Witness potatoes get slashed into halves. So many memories that I have had with that pan. Seeing my mother gripping the pan with her withering hands, flipping and whipping and tipping the pan, seeing how quickly it switched in her hands. You can't begin to imagine or fathom the way that she handled the pan. Knew the kitchen like the back of her hand. I was plotting and planning the actions of snatching the snacks in the back of the cabinet. Taking my chances and acting a savage. Would this catastrophe actually happen? That was my last thought. Passing the asking when grabbing the glass jar. But accidents happen. Gas as I managed to make a gigantic glass fall. She wasn't that far, shattered in half of a second, as loud as a crack in the asphalt. Oh snap, it just happened. That is the last straw. She snapped it and started slapping and smacking the back of my hand hard. But those homemade cookies were the risk I dared take.
Jolly Rapper. Judges, let's see what you got. Hold those scores up in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have a low of 9.1, a 9.2, a 9.4, a 9.5, and a 9.6 for Jolly Rapper. Applaud the poet. Keep that applause going and welcome back into the stage, Becca!
I wish that I'd called the police when I saw her there, pushed against a tile, bleeding some, coughing a while. My father's hands were like vices. But I guess that's what the price is when you steal petty birthday money from your 9-year-old daughter. I comfort myself now. At least it wasn't slaughter, but maybe if it had been, I wouldn't have to experience a skipped heartbeat whenever I get a text because I'm anticipating a paragraph asking when next I'll come visit. Come keep him company. Is it bad to prefer him behind bars? I like to think about it in my most vulnerable moments. Why on earth I let myself endure the torment of a thing too chaotic to function. A thing who resorted to punching his own son. The most awful malfunction. It wasn't just my brother, another victim, my mother. We heard when she sobbed, her happiness robbed by the thing we had to call Dad. Now, to a stranger, he wasn't all bad once he got past the 6 feet of corded muscle and the planet-sized blue eyes that seem to shrink you down until you're too small to even exist anymore. His voice is like sandpaper scratching against the rough side of Velcro. His laugh is like the bellow of a beast getting ready to cut your head off. My brother moved halfway across the country to escape the abuse, because the fists on his back felt like a noose that tethered him here to this hell of a house, stuck tiptoeing around like a mouse. I wish that I could tell him that our father is gone, because while we fought like we had to, I feel I'm bereft of a presence at my side, laughing and smiling and pushing aside the dark thoughts that plague my conscience now that he's gone, gone and unable to help me go on. My father has ruined my life. The memory of him acts as a knife that twists and shreds the confidence I have left, the confidence I use to fuel a good jest, to keep the big chest in my emotion vault locked so that when I speak I don't impose shock when I admit that I'm stressed and extremely depressed, and that I feel whenever I turn a corner I'll come across a corner that will tell me I'm dead and sick in my head for feeling these things, and the ground that I tread is a pathway to nothing. A nothing filled with memories. Nights of playing guitar, praying, remembering every laugh, smile, and inside joke shared with the beast that has left me with a heart that's impaired. I shouldn't miss him. That I do know. Especially when I was the one that told him to go. I'm missing a father that I never had. Only a beast that I had to call Dad.
Give it up for Becca. Judges, let's see what you have. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have a 8.5, an 8.7, an 8.7, a 9.3, and a 9.5 for Becca. Applaud the poet. And let's welcome back onto the stage the 6th poet in the 2nd round, Mia.
I'm 15 years old and scared. I'm scared I won't be taken seriously. Adults look at me and see a teen somewhere in between, a child and an adult, not yet an adult, still in fault of being phone obsessed. My generation is known as vain and self-absorbed. You adults call us idiotic with our need for little hearts on a screen and our frivolous dedication to fathers that can't be seen. You judge our pettiness and how we judge prettiness rather than helping penniless, but you forgot. You are the ones who created social media. You are the ones who developed touchscreens, so I don't want to hear your screams anymore about how we are vain. Can't you see that social media causes us pain? Have you ever heard of cyberbullying? We didn't create this yet. You blame us, calling us childish. Will you ever take us seriously? Will you ever acknowledge that we are intelligent in our own ways too? And will you please stop being so condescending? I'm 15 years old and scared. I'm scared we won't be able to save this dying world because here we are, teens, we are the hope of the future. We have to pick up your mess, it's our test. No wonder we're stressed, trying to do our best, keeping our fears compressed. We're trying to digest all we have to do to save the oppressed. We're trying to protest the rules you created. We're trying to suggest new ideas and express. And you wonder why we're so depressed. You press so much pressure on us, we have to fix your mess. It's not our fault that the world is melting and the earth is warming. It's not our fault that millions of trees were cut without warning. It's not our fault that society was created with a lack of equality. And it's not our fault that millions of animals are dying, endangered, and mourning. I'm not angry, okay? It's fear, it's helplessness, disasters are near, and I want to help. Yes, please, but how? I'm scared we'll never be able to fix this. I'm 15 years old and scared. I'm scared of all the hate in this world. There must be another trait in this world that can deflate hate and create love, but I haven't seen it. I've seen the wars and the shootings in the news, how people hate after drinking too much booze, how 800,000 people are so desperate per year they choose to kill themselves. I'm scared of gunshots, that hope rots, of cruel plots. I'm scared that we won't take action. I'm scared we'll continue splitting into factions without compassion. I'm scared that we'll continue to let anger be a distraction from love. I'm 15 years old and scared. I'm scared of all the hate in this world. There must be another trait in this world. Kindness is always so late in this world. Can't we try and recreate this world so people don't have to live scared?
Give it up for Mia. Judges, let's see what you got. In 3, 2, 1, hold them up. We have an 8.5, an 8.6, an 8.8, a 9.0, and a 9.7 for Mia. Applaud the poet. Keep that applause going, and let's bring up to the stage the next poet, Kaylin.
"17 seconds will never be enough time to voice what 17 people never can. Thousands of students forced to live the horrors that our politicians can never understand. What we stand for is no longer liberty and justice, but a fight for life itself. No kid should ever have to wage a war so that weapons of war don't fuck up their bodily health. I mean, are you hearing what we're saying? Are the lights on upstairs? Because the last thing I've been thinking is that the administration really cares about real people reduced to numbers on a crumpled spreadsheet, a tally of individual lives never given the opportunity to be complete. $30 million. Is that how much Gen Z is worth? Or did you stop giving a shit about us immediately after birth? Mr. Trump, why are you treating mental illness like it's a precedent? The last time I checked, we were getting enough of that from our president. I am a Gen Z kid, a born after 9/11, grew up hiding under their desk kid, a zombie buried in their phone because they're sick of hearing the last thing some asshole just did. With an AK-47, AR-15 semi-automatic rifle in the will to shoot up a school, a monster with the determination to add their fellow students to a growing Ted pool. I am a Gen Z kid, a generation that learned how to lock down before they learned how to read, a woman who's tired of waiting for her problems to be solved by some prince and his noble steed, a student who reads about her nation's history and can only feel disgust and shame, a person ready to redefine the system so that they can put our anger to a name, because I am a Gen Z kid, and Generation Zombie isn't hungry for fish and chips. I hope you still got those guns, because here comes the Gen Zombie apocalypse. Your Second Amendment right to bear arms isn't going to protect you from our wrath. When we vote you out of office and fix this broken system, do the fucking math. I mean, do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? It's the music of the people who will not get shot up at school again. Do you see the ocean of protesters choking the National Mall? Neo-Nazis, racists, NRA lobbyists? We're gonna get rid of them all. Because 200-year-old policies are not what the people of the 21st century stand for. I am a Gen Z kid, saying the things that should have been said long before Douglas Mason, before Columbine, before Sandy Hook, before Virginia Tech, before Benton, before Aztec, before San Bernardino, before Marysville, before Roseburg, before Santa Monica, Knutson, Oakland, Chardon, Huntsville, DeKalb, Baton Rouge, Blacksburg, before
Give it up for Kaylin. 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 Give it up for Let's see those scores. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have a low of 8.8, a 9.0, a 9.0, a 9.2, and a 9.4. Applaud the poet. 3 more poets in the last round. First of those, please put your hands together and welcome back up to the stage, Dimitri.
Today, my coworker apologized to me. I stared at him, because here he was, a 50-year-old black man working drive-thru until midnight. He says to me, "Hey, look, I'm sorry about last night. But here's the thing. I don't remember anything major that could have upset me." And he could see that. He pulls out his phone and he says, "Here, let me show you something." He shows me a picture of him and a girl in what looks to be her late teens. She is smiling, but her smile does not seem as wide and as pure as it could have been. This was my daughter. He's sad, nostalgic, but it seems like he's being transported to a time that he was fond of, but he's content with moving on. This was my daughter. He pulls up another photo. It's of a young man grinning in the front seat of a car. This is my son. It takes me a moment, and I compare. The young girl that I see smiling in that photo, her arms are at her side, her smile is tight-lipped, and this young man that I see, his arms are up and he's posing and he's grinning so wide his cheeks must hurt. This is my son. I realize my coworker is apologizing for misgendering me. But why does he feel the need to apologize? Is he truly sorry for misgendering me, or is it because he saw his son in my shoes? What was his reason? The day after I lost my virginity, my partner at the time had said, "I'm sorry." Let me rephrase that. The day after I was raped, my partner at the time had said, "I'm sorry," and then followed it up with, "But virginity is a social construct." They sounded sincere, but their tone held a false sense of security that promised non-repetition, and that promise was not kept. So why would my ex keep that promise, and why did they feel the need to apologize? Were they truly sorry, or did they feel like they had to say sorry? But virginity is a social construct. Today, I tell myself that I am sorry. I am sorry for not loving myself enough, for pushing away people who could love me better, for staying in relationships not deserving of me, and I am sorry. Because I am ready to do more, and I am ready to be more. And I am sorry. Give it up for Dimitri. Judges, let's see those scores in 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. We have an 8.5, an 8.6, an 8.9, a 9.0, and a 9.4. Applaud the poet. Keep that applause going. Welcome up to the stage, the 9th poet in the 2nd round, Lucinda.
How to be in a relationship. Treat it like something you know how to do. Treat it like school. Introduce yourself like the introduction to an essay. Start with a hook, give some background, use imagery and detail. Hey, I find you physically appealing and I think, hypothetically, our kids would be good looking. Correction. Don't use too much detail. Be pleasant and vague. Yes, I too enjoy the rain. Nailed it. Treat going steady like it's a science experiment. Pay attention to your research, do your homework, write your thesis. If I increase the amount that I love you, then the amount that you love me will follow a proportional relationship. Hint, we were not in a proportional relationship. Treat third base like it's an art project. Don't be afraid if it gets messy. Finger painting never really works out the first time. Maybe stick to kissing for a while. Don't treat sex like it's the SATs. This isn't a time test. No need to hurry. Finish second. I have a 4.0. I'm not used to getting D's. Realize that there's a problem like a fraction. Add up all the times they hurt you and divide by all the times you were on top of the world. You should know something is off if you're trying to divide by 0. Trust me, I did it one time and my calculator exploded and my math teacher died. Sorry, Mr. Butenhoff. Confirm you're hurt with a graph. I guess I'll be the Y coordinate because it seems like you're gonna be an X pretty soon. Treat the breakup like you're giving a PowerPoint presentation. Make sure you're memorized. Don't stutter. Use a laser pointer because it'll help you feel better about all of it. Because it hurts now, but it won't hurt forever, I promise. Start getting over them like an after-school snack. Eat sticks of butter dipped in sugar. Don't worry, the tears will burn off all the calories. Or at least I'll have my double chins to keep me company. Treat the next time like it's social studies, because though there are conflicts in your past, you must be strong enough to make sure his story doesn't repeat itself. You deserve a better someone else. I guess it didn't really work to treat it like my education, but I'm not super sure why. I guess I'm just overqualified. I probably should have just treated it like what it was because nobody knows what they're doing when they're falling in love, and that's okay. Because worst case scenario, you mess up and then learn from your mistakes. Thank you.
Put it together for Lucinda. Judges, put those scores together and let's see what you have. Hold them up in 3, 2, 1. We have a low of 9.6, another 9.6, another 9.6, a 9.7, and a 9.9 for Lucinda. Keep that energy going and let's bring up the last poet in the last round, Zoe D.
Ten things you told me in your goodbye. You told me I was no longer your daughter and my blood began to boil at the source. Uncertain of whether to burst and unfold into a body that was no longer in danger, no longer belonging of a stranger. 1, you can never trust somebody who says they love you. Spoken often selfish in nature, some I love yous are really I want yous. I wish I loved yous, I really, really, really just need you. Some I love yous are just words. Yours spoke as if dirt scraped from under your fingernails was all that I was worth. 2, blood may be thicker than water, but never as clean. When your wasted body lied drunk, tired in the tub, did you too wish that the water would seep through your skin and drown the parts of you that are broken? 3, sometimes silence sits heavier on the memory. 4, sorry. 4, 4 is just too much to speak on. 5, addiction isn't the only thing that is genetic. I hate the parts of me that remind me of you because at times I cling too tightly to the toxic. Overindulging parts of me are all that I have left of you. The look in my mother's eyes at the mention of your name is all that I have left of you. 6, apparently I'm pathetic for trying. 7, apparently I'm pathetic for caring. 8, apparently to you I'm just pathetic. 9, do you remember when I was a newborn baby with lungs barely bigger than your thumbs? Tasting my first slice of sleep, you almost crushed my small body. 10, do you know why my mom almost drowned you in that tub?
Put it together for Zoe D. Judges, this is the last time of the night that I'll ask you to do this. Put those scores together and hold them up for me in 3, 2, 1. We have a 8.5, an 8.7, an 8.8, an 8.9, and a 9.5 for Zoe D. Applaud the poet. Applaud all the poets in the second round. Our math experts are going to gather backstage and tabulate these scores, and we will soon know who the top 5 of this second round are. While they do that, would you mind if I maybe shared with you guys a poem? All right. Let me drink some water. We all wanted a high school sweetheart. We wanted to be young in the 50s maybe, with meatloafs and sock hops and lawns so perfect they looked like Clark Gable was kissing them. We wanted to be 13 and alive and meet someone that was 13 and alive and walk with them past the grandstands, to sit and hold hands, to sit and kiss with like it was something that you would miss, but that never was. We once maybe wanted to be poor, but not too poor. Connecting this country like Kerouac and Thumbs, pulling small-town waitresses into backseats and trailer park homes where the two of you would find passion expanding between the locking of your bones until morning would come to find you out on the road with your pockets empty except for your hands, but your hands, they'd be overflowing with your soul. But that's not what happened. We once went to bed, like between the bed sheets was a valley where dinosaurs still breathed. And how we would capture these triceratops and brontosauruses, but even he was opened up with the smoke that rose out of the homes on the corners we once climbed through. The streets and the footballs with which we once threw, the school desks upon which we once drew, the windows that sat open through which we once flew, before the outside world of parking spaces and dead friends came flooding on in, and we forgot what we wanted, and we became what we become. Waitresses and bartenders, city employees and temp positions, weird junkies and one-kiss poems, and we cry the stars as we write our scars onto dumpsters and electric boxes. The only thing that we can hear is our hearts. The only ones listening are the streets, the blood that breathes, through the letters we leave. And we dream to rise ourselves up out of these burning buildings, but instead we get buried somewhere beneath, because I know my life is like some high school kid's notebook. That kid that shuffles back and forth between school and home, stacking the letters and the pictures too close for anyone outside of their own imagination to read, because through the ink that the heart beats, that the heart breathes, and we all just wanted to write these notes. Check if you like me, check if you don't, check if you'll date me, check if you won't, because we all wanted the love songs to be true, and we did love dinosaurs once, and we wanted the stars to hold our hands, to lick the teeth, to love us. So let your smiles twist, like my heart dancing precariously on the edge of my fingertips, staining them like that same high school kid, licking his thoughts using his Sharpie tip, writing, I was here, and And ain't none of y'all can write that in the spot that I just wrote it in. I am here breathing in, and you are here breathing out. And every breath I breathe brings me a second closer to the day that my mother may die. And every breath I take takes me a second further from the moment she caught my father's eye. And every word I carry is another stone to put into place. And the foundation I'm building these days and erase something that I never saw. What all of us wanted and what none of us got. What we all had and have. And we all forgot that we all wanted to be something. That we all became something. And it might not be the mess that we thought it would be when we were kids, but something is still something. And like some cats say, something's better than nothing. Feet are smarter than an engine, and dreams are stronger than thighs, and questions are the only answers we need to have to know that we are alive at a time when I held the mind of a child, asking, why is 2 + 3 always equal to 5? Where do people go to when they die? What made the beauty of the moon and the beauty of the sea? Did that beauty make you? Did that beauty make me? Will it make me something? Will I be something? Am I something? And the answer comes, you already are. You always were. And you still have time to be. Thank you very much. Math Squad, do we have those numbers and names ready? I'm gonna find out. All right, man, round of applause for tonight. This is so rad. I can't believe this has been going on for 7 years. When Literary Arts first started doing this, it was in the Mission Theater. The Mission Theater, that seats like what, 2 people? You know, like, this room is so beautiful, and it's so wonderful to like have this beautiful room that honors in its beauty what is being shared on this stage. You know, to put beautiful things into beautiful spaces is really what it means, I feel, to be a human. So please put your hearts together and applaud all the 22 young poets that got up onto this microphone tonight. Librarians and all the schools around this Portland city and elsewhere that put this together throughout the year to create these spaces for these folks to get up and share themselves. A round of applause. So, without further ado, I'm going to list these 5 winners, starting with 5th and working our way up to the #1 spot. In 5th place, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Kaylin. In 4th place, we have Ari. Jolly Rapper. In 2nd place, Nicole. And your first place winner for 2018 Verselandia, put it together for Lucinda. Your top 5 poets of Verselandia 2018. Congratulations. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you next year. I do my hair toss, check my nails. If you competed tonight, please come on stage. Can you also join us up on stage for photo?